What I'd like to talk about today is working with pads, and I'd like to just give a very basic drill for people when they very first start to use pads. Now, very important, I think, is not to try and hit them too hard. They always assume that hitting pads, you've got to hit as hard as you can. Not so. For the beginner, you need to learn which part of the fist you're going to contact with. Also need to learn how to use the hammer action and the screwing action of the wrist, and so on. And the thing to remember is hitting pads is most definitely not like hitting a person. So quite often people hit the pads very hard and they assume that because they're hitting the pads hard that they'd hit a person hard. Not so. It is a different skill. However, pads do have a very important part to play because you can work on timing, distance and technique, and it's a very useful way of being able to, for the instructor, to be able to get the student moving and hitting something that does move. Because when you're hitting something that's stationary, it's fairly easy. Once you start moving, completely different ball game. So let's start nice and easy. We're working with jab punch, hook punch and cross punch. So there's no misunderstanding. I'm going to hold the pads down. When I hold the pads up, I'll hold them straight for a jab punch. I'll hold them to the side for a hook punch, and I'll hold them at an angle for a cross punch. What I'll also do is I'll tell Adam what it is that I want him to do. This way, no errors, we hope, no mistakes. Okay, so when we start off, if you take a guard, Adam, stand back a little bit. That's it. So from here, we go straight, hook, hook, cross, cross. Now he's judged his distance, got his timing, got his technique. We both know what we're doing. So we start to work straight, 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 hook, hook, cross, 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 hook, hook, straight, straight, hook, hook, cross, 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 hook, straight, hook, cross, 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 hook, straight, straight, hook, cross. So you can see I'm standing still, I'm saying quite clearly what I want, and I'm holding the pad up at an angle that goes with what I'm saying. That way, for the beginner, they can start learning pad work relatively easy without making too much of a mistake. What we might do then is to start to change the distance a little bit. So I'm only going to do it a little bit because of the angles of the cameras, but you can see we can change distance and angle. So I can now start to make Adam having to work a little bit. So from here we go straight, hook, hook, cross, hook, 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 cross, cross, straight, hook, 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 cross, cross, straight, hook, hook. Okay, so you can see I'm changing distance and I'm changing angle. And we would normally do this over a bigger area. That's fine. So now he's having to judge, he's having to change his angle, change his distance. Now let's let him know if he doesn't keep his guard up. So we start giving a little bit of feedback. So we go straight, hook, 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 straight, hook, cross, 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 cross. So I'm looking for his ribs when his arm comes out, and I'm looking for any gap in his guard as well. Adam's quite good, so it's a bit hard to find the gap in his guard, but certainly when you're working with a beginner, they tend to drop the guard very, very quickly. Okay, so we go straight, hook, 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 cross, cross, got his rib. Yeah? So He just left it a little bit too long before he brought the elbow back. So now we've got 3 stages of using the pads. The first stage is to stand still, hold the pad up, call the movement, call the name. The second one, start to change distance, start to change angle. The third one, start to give a bit of feedback with the pads. So they're making sure that they're keeping their guard and they start to feel a little bit more like they're actually in a fight. Then your pad work can start to build up from there. By the time you start to add in kicks, by the time you start to add in a little more definite feedback, by the time you start to put in some fairly complex drills, your pad work really starts to take off. But remember, a pad is not a person. Thank you. Hi, I'm Steve Rowe. I'm the Chairman and Chief Instructor for Shikon Martial Arts. I'm also the Chairman of the Martial Arts Standards Agency. I teach karate. I'm a 7th dan in karate, and also I'm an international Tai Chi instructor.